Welcome to Pseudoscience 101, the only channel where someone with lead FI and the 497 tri-type or wannabe menace to society mocks the personality system because they do not know how to properly communicate their hyperfixation. To clear things up, in the Korean Fixates over Cognitive Functions playlist, the specific interpretation I use is objective personality, and the reason why my title is vague and says cognitive functions instead is because I couldn't think of a cool alliterative name for objective personality, and that's more important than conveying clear information. Anyways, the next few videos in the series will be about objective personality exclusive bullshit, and speaking of bullshit, starting now, captions will have the good place rules to help spread my videos. This won't affect audio. Now, what's so special about objective personality? Firstly, it has the dumbest and most self-entitled name of any personality system, and secondly, definitions for functions are extremely consistent. In traditional Myers-Briggs, functions have their own definitions, such as like how SE is simplified to the jock function, while NE is the crazy function. But in objective personality, both SE and NE are gathering functions, or functions which find solutions by using new shit over familiar shit, and they differ, because SE gathers facts, whereas NE makes shit up. But most importantly for this video, Dave Superpowers, the guy who made Objective Personality, really fucking loves 2048, so he wanted to incorporate this obsession into his personality system. To do this, he found differences which people of the same type had, and made them different types. One of these differences are called animal stacks. So what are animals and how are they made? Basically, when an observing function and a deciding function love each other very, very much, they and that's how animals are made. Since there are two observing directions and two deciding ones, they multiply to create 4 animals: consume, play, sleep, and blast, but I'm representing them with cats, parrots, slugs, and bees. I really want you to get those animals into your skull. Each animal has one thing in common with each other animal, sort of like aspects or positions in attitudinal psyche. Bees and parrots are social animals who regularly give shit to each other. Cats and slugs are independent. Cats and parrots will eat whatever the fuck they see, which is nailed down. And bees and slugs are invertebrates. Putting it all together, Blast gives old information to the tribe, Consume takes in new information for themselves, Sleep reflects on old information for themselves, and Play fucks everything up for everyone. I didn't need to do this whole ops animals as real animals thing, I just thought it'd be cute. Now, I said every animal shares one thing in common with every other animal, but I didn't say what Consume and Blast or Play and Sleep have in common. This is because this dichotomy is sort of like what Intuition and Sensing or Self and Tribe have in common. They deal with the same kind of thing, but are opposite approaches to it. Basically, Consume and Blast are information animals, which mean they deal with the taking in and communication of information, while Play and Sleep are energy animals, which mean they deal with the expending and preserving of energy. This is the part of the video where I'm going to be a bitch and interrupt the lesson to tell you that fucking no one watched my tries and try types video. It's fine. Likely because I swear a lot in my videos. At least on mobile, there's a subscriptions tab for you to view recent uploads to people you subscribe to. Check it out every month to ensure you're supporting me. So, how do animals manifest in a type? To do this, I'll use 2 ISFPs with different animal stacks, which you could call totem poles if you're cool and not a bitch. Animal stacks are basically just the order of importance of animals in a type. Let's call the ISFPs X and W because I'm special and want to use that as an excuse to make everything harder for everyone. Animal stacks start with the love child of a type's 2 savior functions, and since X and W are both ISFPs, they both have savior FI. However, X has savior C, so their animal stack starts with consume, but W has savior Ni, so their animal stack starts with sleep. Since everyone needs a savior information animal and a savior energy animal, X's next animal will either be play or sleep, and W's next animal is going to be consume or blast. X is going to have savior play, so they can contrast with W's savior sleep, and W is actually going to have savior consume, because you gotta do seemingly unpredictable moves if you want to get the cops off your ass. Moving on to the third animal, X will have Blast as their third animal, so they'll have Sleep Last, and W is going to have Play as their third animal, so they'll have Blast Last. Like in BDSM, the bottom is the most important part of an animal stack, so even though W has Sleep at the top, they're going to fuck themselves over with an overabundance of Consume because they have Blast at the bottom. Let's dissect W a bit more. Because they have play and sleep in their top 3 animals, they are energy dominant, which means they are absolute shit at handling the relationship between consume and blast and are sorta decent with play and sleep. W also has consume and sleep in their top 3 animals, which means they are a fucking loser, or as fucking losers like to describe themselves, an introvert. In objective personality, introverts are defined as anyone with play or blast last, rather than anyone whose type starts with the 8th letter of the alphabet. This is because the animal which is the opposite of your last animal is the one which you use the most. And if someone spends most of their time consuming, they're not going to fucking blast anything because they feel like they need to know more before beating that information over the tribe's head. W also has consume and play in their top 3 animals, which means absolutely fucking nothing. I just wanted to waste your time because I'm a fundamentally bad person. Let's head on over to our other ISFP who isn't a little bitch, X. If you remember correctly, X's last animal is sleep, which means they're an info-dominant extrovert. Since they have sleep last, X is going to spend most of their time playing, so they're not going to reflect on shit because there's always more to discover. However, as an ISFP, their lead function, FI, is, in both their first and last animal, which means X is a glass lizard. Glass lizards don't have anything special about them, they're just harder to type because they express their lead function in a limited capacity compared to other types with the same lead function. Keep observer, decider, and human needs in mind so they won't fuck you up. So, what do extroverts and introverts look like on a more general level? Finding out someone's type is a lot like indoctrinating someone in a cult. You need to get to them when they're at their lowest. You'll tend to find that introverts are going to shit around in their sleep-consume world until they're forced out and explode, while extroverts are going to run around playing and blasting until they pass out on their bed. However, if we're talking about functions and not animal stacks, you'll find the opposite to be true, that internal functions crash and external ones explode. Imagine a DI guy doing their own thing and thinking they're cooler than everyone else, learning that the rest of the tribe fucking hates them because they're not doing any of the DE. Because DI is an internal function, the only way it could go is inward, so they're gonna fucking crash. As an example of an external function exploding, take some OE dumbass who's all, I'll narrow down when I come to it, so they can spend all their time gathering. When they inevitably need to narrow down and get their shit together, it's going to look something like, shit fuck, shit fuck, shit fuck, shit fuck, shit fuck, shit fuck, shit fuck. That probably looked stupid as fuck for anyone with captions, but luckily I don't care about the deaf or hard of hearing because I am a fundamentally bad person. Anyways, this is the end of the video. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments and I will answer them to feel like I'm smarter than everyone else, despite not knowing anything which is simultaneously useful and scientifically accurate. Bye!